All right, welcome back to Lightroom Classic, and we are on version 10.3. So this was just released the other day. And there are a few small updates. Now there's one main feature, and that main feature is the new super resolution. And that's basically what I'm going to cover here. If you've seen that in Adobe Camera Raw, it's exactly the same thing. Adobe Camera Raw, Adobe Lightroom Classic, Develop module, same exact program. So they have the same features. We also over here have some new presets. They call these their pro presets. We'll take a look at them. I actually haven't looked at them yet. But this is an image that I use something called focus stacking, and focus stacking is a process where you take a whole bunch of different pictures of the same object and you keep changing your focus. And that allows you to get macro photography, something from here all the way to the back, super sharp throughout the whole image. And so what we're going to do now is take a look at super resolution inside the new Lightroom Classic. What is this super resolution? It's not really what it says. All it's really doing is increasing or doubling your native resolution of your image. Now, it does enhance the image a little bit. And if you've watched my video on Adobe Camera Raw, it definitely looks better. It makes the image a little bit sharper, and it's adding a little bit of contrast to the image. Now, I've compared super resolution to On1 Photo and Photoshop's version, and I will say the super resolution in Adobe Camera Raw and Lightroom works excellent. It is by far better than either of those. All right, so it's really easy to do that. So once you're in Lightroom Classic, you're going to be here in this Develop module right here. And there are two ways to access this. The easiest, and I think the most logical way, is to right click. And so we're in this image, and I'm going to go ahead and right click. If you're on a Mac, that is control click if you don't have a right clicking mouse. And as you will see right down here, we have this new thing called enhance. We'll go ahead and click that enhance, and that's going to bring up this preview here. And it's going to take a while because this is a pretty large file to load this file in. Now you have two different choices. When you're working with an image, you can either use super resolution or raw detail. This is actually a stacked PSD from raw files. So I could have increased the size using super resolution and raw details before I stacked it, but I didn't do it like that because I did this a couple years ago and it didn't exist. But in this case, I'm just going to use super resolution on a PSD file. You don't have to use super resolution on raw files. It does work on a variety of different types of images. So right here, you can see we're zoomed in and it's showing you the enhanced version of what this looks like. Now this is really zoomed in. I could move it around and trying to find a better spot, but it's hard to tell what's going on. Now, one of the things it does do is it actually increases the sharpness a little bit more than I would like. I prefer to sharpen an image after I've sized it in Photoshop. Now, my working process is, even if I do use Lightroom, I'm always going to end up sending that image into Photoshop. I don't usually save from Lightroom Classic unless I'm doing bulk actions. So there's some things that I actually prefer to do. You can sharpen, but it's just kind of a basic generic sharpen inside of Lightroom Classic when you export. So I prefer to actually do it in Photoshop. And you should always sharpen your image at 100% after you've sized your image to whatever output resolution you want to use. Because if you have a 2000 pixel image versus a 6000 pixel image, your sharpening amount is going to vastly be different. It's not going to be close to the same. If you did it at 60% for the 6000 and then you did 60% at 2000, it would be way over sharpened most likely at 2000. So that's why I prefer to do it. All right. So right here, it's got a little thing. It's called create stack, meaning that you can stack your image. It will put one image on top of the other, or you could uncheck that. And when it does this super resolution, it's going to create a copy of your image. Now right here, it's telling us an estimated time of 8 seconds. This process uses your GPU, which is your graphics processor, not your internal processor. If you have a slow graphics processor, this is going to take a lot longer. And if you have a faster graphics processor, this is going to go much quicker. So you have a couple different options here. We do have a little learn more right here, but we're just going to go ahead and hit enhance. We're going to let this run through here. And just like that, it's creating, as you can see, enhanced DNG. So when it creates this enhancement, it's converting your file into a DNG raw file, which is going to be a completely new file. Now, I could have stacked that like I said before, or I can just let this create a new different file. So in this case, I'm actually going from PNG to DNG, which is Adobe's digital negative. There's not anything wrong with it. That's just how the process works. Whether you use this in Adobe Camera Raw or Lightroom, it's always going to convert it to a digital negative. If you have a Canon RAW file or a Nikon RAW file and you use this enhance, just beware that it is going to convert it to a DNG. All right, so we can come on over here and I can click on this image right here. And this is going to be our new DNG file that we have. So this is our enhanced DNG. It's double the resolution. Now, because this is a DNG, depending on your preferences, you can embed your XMP file. So you might not see that associated XMP file like you would in a regular RAW file, because in a DNG, you do have the option to embed that inside of the file. If you're making adjustments and you're not seeing it being saved, that would be your reason. Now, you can't tell any difference really here in the image between this image and this image when I click on it. Well, why? Because it hasn't manipulated or changed the file at all, really. It's just doubled the file size. So if I was to open up both of these now inside of Photoshop, so I will shift click these, and I'm going to use the Command E, which will launch both of these into Adobe Photoshop. All right, so as you can look up here, this was our original file, the stacked PSD. And if we come down here, you will notice that this is 17.947 inches by 11.963 inches at 300 pixels per inch, which is a pretty large file. But if you come to the new stacked DNG, you'll now notice it is 35 inches by 24 inches basically at 300 pixels per inch. So a much larger image, but otherwise the exact same thing. So let's zoom in here a little bit. All right, so I have zoomed in to basically what I'm looking at is this little area right here. Now, one thing that I had mentioned to you, when you do this super resolution, it does increase the sharpness in the contrast. And in photography, contrast and sharpness are very similar. When you're sharpening an image, you're actually increasing the contrast in a specific area. So if you look right here, you will notice that this area is much more pixelized and sharpened. And in this image, it's much smoother than it was before. This doesn't mean that one image is better than the other. It's just meaning that it's sharpening in this enhanced mode, which I'm not a huge. So one option that you do have, because this is a DNG file as we see up here, we could open this image directly into Camera Raw, or when we were in Lightroom, which would make more sense. So what we could do inside of Lightroom Classic here is, if it is a little bit over sharpened, you could simply just kind of go over into something like clarity and reduce it a little bit, and it will reduce some of that over sharpening that we were seeing right here in that leaf. Now, one thing I forgot, I'm going to tell you, there's actually 3 different ways to bring up the enhance feature. One was the right click and you go to enhance. The second is to go to photo and drop down to enhance. And the last one is the quick key right here, which is Option Control I on a Mac. I'm not positively sure what it is on a PC. If somebody knows, go ahead and put that down in the comments below. And if we have any PC users, that will help them with the correct quick key. But all you would need to do is go into your photo, drop down, and you can hover over it and it should show you the quick key as well. All right, so the last thing that I said here is I would take a look at the presets. Now we've got some portraits for deep skin, medium skin, and light skin. And if you open these up, they've got a whole bunch of different variations, and they're making it more orange here, more yellow, more red. And these are for color correction in portraits. I just don't think these are very helpful because everybody's skin tone is a little bit different. And depending on the lighting and a whole bunch of different factors, these usually don't work that great. But if they're helpful for you, then they're wonderful. I'm not going to go through each one of the different ones for deep skin, medium skin, and light skin. These are definitely things that you can open up and try them out. If you like them, wonderful. If you don't like them, doesn't make much of a difference. I think these style ones are going to be more useful. So here we've got some cinematic, different looks. And as you go over, it's trying to resemble some different cinematic looks. Right here, we've got futuristic. And so these are giving you some different futuristic looks. Vintage, I would probably like a little bit. These seem to be giving you more of a matte feel and they're a little bit more subtle. Now, don't forget, if you do one of these, a lot of times when you click on one of these, you still need to go over here and further adjust it, because how a preset works on one image isn't going to make it work perfect on another image. So don't feel like you just click on it and you're done. It doesn't work like that. And then we've got a last one, subject travel. You know, this is a portrait, so I don't think these are going to make much sense here. But those are the new, what they call pro presets. How pro they are, I have no idea. But they're new and they're available if it is something you are interested in. Well, hopefully you have found this tutorial helpful. Hey, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.